Hello guys, welcome to my new channel. I'm Pedro, I live in Lisbon, Portugal and finally managed to buy a Nissan Bluebird, a YT42 from 1989. I've had a great connection to Nissan since I was little and also to the Bluebird model as my father had one for many years. This channel will be dedicated to this project and all the restoration I'll be doing on this car. I will tell you my story with this Japanese brand and Bluebird throughout the next episode, so stay tuned. But enough talk about me because this channel is all about the Bluebird project. If you like Bluebird, the Nissan, and if you like the first episode, please subscribe to this channel. Stay tuned. Okay guys, here we are with our new Nissan Bluebird 1.6 SLX. I just bought him. It was the pickup day, so I just went to the gas station to put some gas, and now I'm ready to take him home in order I can put it inside the garage and start planning the recovery project. But yeah, let me introduce you the car and just present you with the visible defects. There are some things that I already saw in the day that I was looking for this car for the first time. Even so, we have some challenges here. I've been already starting to working in some parts just before I pick up the car. I already have some of the parts that I just took from a scrapyard. But well, let me introduce you the car. So it's what you see here. So it's not a new car. It's kind of 1989 model. It has, I've seen better cars than this one, of course, but not costing the same as this. But we have here some challenges. The first one is the trunk. We have here this problem here because this spoiler, is of course putting water inside the trunk because of all the rust and everything. But I already have a new trunk, a new used trunk that I was a lucky guy. I found a used trunk in the same color, so in good state. So I just need to swap the trunk. We have a broken tail light also, and I don't know if you guys can see. We have a broken tail light here. Of course, this license plates will be to swap on because I want to put the older ones. We have some stickers, that we need to take down. We have some rust. Nothing so serious like in the trunk. We have some rust. We have a kind of new tires, but not the size that I want. We have the wheels like my father had, so I'm pretty happy with it. And then we have the first challenge because these wheel hubs are very hard to find. So if some of you guys know, I will put a picture of the hubs. So if you guys know someone that is willing to sell me these original Nissan hubs, just let me know. Because I really want to find these wheel hubs to put it 100% original. So it's an old car. Nissan Bodyworks were famous about their quality, and as you can see, a 1989 car. There's rust, of course, but not so serious. We have some problems here also, but nothing so serious. This mirror is not from the car. This is not an original mirror. I don't know why, but along the way they swapped the mirror. Then we have the serious part here. As you can see, we have serious rust here, but I already found in the same car that I got the trunk in the scrapyard. I already found this part. So this is a complete wing that is located here under the windshield, and I already have this part, a good one, used but in good condition, because this one is all rusted. So we have a couple problems here also. Okay, this front is strange because I'm pretty much in need of new headlights also, but I don't like the front because the front grille is broken, but it's not aligned. We don't have, I must check because we don't have the same distance here that we have here, and somehow the front of the car, it's not looking good, so I must check. We have some damage on the bumpers also. but nothing so serious, you know. Also here, also some rust. We have also problems in the same part as in the driver's side, in the passenger side. We have also the same part, okay? And we have a broken windshield. I don't know if you guys can see, but we have a broken windshield. But it's not so serious because I already also got from the same car of the trunk and that windshield part. I already took the windshield. It was good, so I have a backup plan to swap the windshield. We have a rooftop, open top, sunroof. I would prefer to don't have it because this is a pain in the ass. The guys that already own used cars with this know that this is a real pain. I think he is working, you know, but there's some rust inside. Not so bad here. I remember when I had my Fiat Uno Turbo, this was a pain. But well, this one doesn't look so bad around here. But in the inside, in the working part, there's rust. So I will try to investigate this to see what to do. And that's it, guys. We have a non-original antenna. I need a new antenna also, which was electric back in the day. This was an automatic antenna. The trunk is putting water inside. I must check. There's no rust inside, but the trunk is putting water. Most probably because this is rotten, you know. This is all rotten around here. Inside, pretty good condition. That's what I fall in love in this car when I first saw him. We have a kind of pristine interior. Of course, it's not clean. I need a good detailing on this one. But as you can see, the doors and everything, there's no rust. That's one of the good things about Nissan. But yeah, everything must be checked, you know. I'm not thinking in painting this car right now, so I will do a first, of course, first stage of this project. I will try to do my best, repairing all the rust and everything. I'm thinking in painting this car, you know, in a couple of years, 1 year, 2 years maximum. I will give a general paint to this car, but I will unmount everything, take care of all the rust and everything. But not now. Now I need a project to. This was my main idea, to find a Nissan Bluebird like my father had. To, you know, a good working base with good interior. There's nothing missing in this interior. It's pretty much like factory. So we still have the Portugal Nissan dealer stickers. We have everything in pristine condition, as you can see. Even the roof, you know, it's in very good condition. The seats, the plastics. Let me show you inside. So, and everything is working, you know, everything since power windows, all the gauges, everything here in the dash is working perfectly, all the lights and everything, you know, everything seems to be in pristine condition. And that's what, you know, led me to buy this car, because in this project the outside doesn't scare me. Everything is, you know, kind of possible to repair. When you start a project like this, in my opinion, because this is the first one I'm digging into, when you start a project like this, I think the interior parts are the hardest to find. So the only thing that is missing in this car is this, you know, cover, which, guess what, in the same car that I found the trunk, the windshield part and the windshield also had the cover. So I was a pretty happy guy because I found this. We also have this problem here, you know, but this is easy to fix. Just need to unmount this and try to see how to restore this. But yeah, everything else is pretty much original. I need to find the Bluebird radio. So just like the wheel hubs, if you guys found something, just let me know, because I would like to put an original Nissan 90s radio in this car. And the part that I was telling you about, the rust inside the rooftop, it's this one, you know, So I just need to study well what to do with this. I think I didn't try to open. I think he's working, but I will not take this risk. What I will do is I will try to lubricate all the mechanism, you know, before try to open it. But I will do this in my garage. So I will put the car inside the garage, and I will you know, first lubricate all the system, and then I will try to open it, because of course this must be repaired. There's rust, and I don't think we have water infiltration, because the roof, as you can see, it's not, you know, with the watermarks, but well, needs to be repaired. Also, we have this also broken, but nothing serious. And yeah, you know, it's a very good base for a project like this. And in the back part, also good condition, as you can see, pristine. The blue one, just like that. Dad's car was with this interior also. So it's like, you know, the Velvet from Nissan, which is lovely, from the 90s. Everything is okay, seat belts, all the windows open and closed, so no problem with the elevators. We need, of course, another good cleaning in the back part, you know. And let me show you the trunk. It's working. Let me show you the trunk. So as you can see, we have this problem here. So along the edge of this car, somehow along the way, the rust from the spoiler bolt just contaminated the metal in the car and then got rotten, you know. But I'm not worried about this. This is recoverable. But I found the trunk, and I will swap the trunk. This part I will try to, you know, to recover this later when this project is all finished. And I will keep a spare trunk and a spare spoiler just in case, because it's when you start a project like this, and I'm not planning to sell this car. When you start a project like this, you need to keep the parts with you, because if you have some problem in the future, you will, you know, you will have a backup plan. So the trunk is putting there's water infiltrations by this part, so we have a kind of wet trunk. But my main concern was that everything could be rotten, but no, I checked before buy it, and there's no serious rust in the trunk. As you know, this car has a huge trunk, which is good if you go somewhere with suitcases. Okay, let me fix this. And that's it. Let me show you the first look into the motor. I'm pretty excited, guys, you know, because this is kind of a dream come true, because already I'm looking for a car like this for several years. It will be in the family. Let me just, you know, open the... So like I was saying, I'm pretty excited with this project, you know. I've been looking for a car like this for a couple of years now. I don't know, maybe 20 years. And I'm pretty excited that I finally have my own project. I always wanted to have an old car, you know, especially something related with my youth. And I have very good memories with Nissan. I will try to detail my history with Nissan and my relation with Nissan later in the later episodes, in the next episodes. But you know, I have a strong connection with this brand, especially with this car, with a car like this, a blue one. And I'm pretty excited with it. The engine was another part that led me to buy this car, because low mileage. So the car has around 97k right now. I think real ones, because we checked this with the help of some of the guys that are in this business. My friend Miguel is a precious help for this type of investigation. And you know, we have a couple of challenges here also in the motor. First one is the windshield engine. As you can see, we have some, you know, nasty work here. It's working, but I think there's some problem here with the bolts. I need to check it. We have a dirty engine, of course, but we have rust also, especially here in the radiator part. I need to work this out, so I will unmount everything and clean everything. So the guys that know me like that, I really love to have everything in pristine condition. So this engine needs lots of passion and lots of work. So, but yeah, everything is working. We need to, of course, get rid of all this rust, clean everything in a proper way, make all the maintenance, change the oil, check everything. So we need to also tune the engine. This is a carburetor engine, as you can see. I think it's a Nikki. Well, at least Nissan was equipped with Nikki. I'm not sure if this is a double carburetor. I think it is, but let me, the experienced guys, tell me in the comments below. But as you can see, the engine looks also good. It's a 1989 car, don't forget about it. So this was another thing that led me to buy this car, was the engine, which I think it's in very good condition. Just let me just close the hood. And that's it, guys. So Nissan Bluebird 1989 model T42, the variant, and very special car to me. We will try to put this 100% original. It's a big challenge. We have some, hard to find parts, especially the wheel hubs. Everything else is in pretty much pristine condition. And well, we will try to do our best. And stay tuned in the channel, because I will, record everything that I will do in this car. I'm planning to have this car in my family. I will not sell him when I work this project. I will keep this car for my son. So I will put all my love and passion into it, and all my knowledge. I will try to learn as much as possible, and I want to document everything with, recording everything, because in a couple of years it will be interesting to see how this car was when I bought it and how it is now. Okay, guys, so stay tuned for the next episodes, and cheers. I'm a happy guy.